Thanks so much for staying with us. And joining us right now is the great patriot himself, Mike Lindell, joining us from Minnesota. And Mike, you know, Tim Walz, unfortunately, you have to say he's your governor, right?
Right.
So what are your thoughts with that?
Well, what a great gift it is that they picked him for VP. Like the president, our real president said, thank you. You got the whole world and the whole country is going to find out what we already knew in Minnesota. There is nobody further left than Walz. He's as far left, progressive, evil as you can get. And I can say that personally. I've had personal run-ins with him back with the China virus when I tried to give masks out to Minnesota before I knew they worked. When Walz said he needed them, and he said, "Oh no, we're not going to take yours till after the election because you're going to use it for publicity." And things like this. He shut down our Christian churches in Minnesota, but yet he opened the mosque up where they could put out the Call of Allah with sound things on the buildings in Minneapolis. And he wants abortion, all the way up to birth and maybe even after. He's ruined our school systems there. We're letting these things in schools. He burned down Minneapolis. And you say, well, he didn't do it. The mayor didn't know, but they were in cahoots. He let it burn. We know this is back when I spent a lot of time in Minneapolis back in my addiction days, my crack cocaine and not just them, but the streets where these were burned down, those streets in particular, they're right next to, not too far from a teen challenge where a lot of my addiction work now is done. And all my friends back then that I was doing drugs with and that they had rebuilt their lives and had all these businesses down there. Two of them are born again Christians that work for MyPillow. And what happens? He just lets all their businesses be burned down and all the buildings. It was disgusting. Didn't call in the National Guard for, I think, almost 30 hours, and our real president had to do that. And this is kind of an interesting story, too, is I was going to run for governor. Everyone was telling me, Mike, run for governor. I never committed to it. After the 2020 election, Walz put out over $1 million in flyers all over Minnesota. Everybody's house got these big flyers in the mail, bad-mouthing Mike Lindell that you do not want this guy running for governor or being governor. I never said I was running. In fact, after the 2020 election, I said I wouldn't run to be a dog catcher unless we get rid of these voting machines. And Walz, I can't think of anybody worse. If I was a Democrat and he would have been my last choice in the world. Now, let me tell you this, though. The confusing part to me is what are they up to? Because they're not doing their traditional, let's lower the price of gas, let's go in the inner cities and tell the blacks and Hispanics what great things we did. They're not doing that, everybody. And in order to steal an election, any election, it has to be believable, okay? Nobody's going to believe this at all. So you're going to have all kinds of these deviations. They're going to try and steal it. And but all you got to do is watch your Fox Newses of the world and watch what polls they put out. Because look at the poll they put out after the debate. Biden's polling even with Trump. You have to brainwash the Fox News watchers in order to pull something off. It's disgusting what they do over there at Fox and these other outlets. They don't talk about the great things going on, Matt. The great things going on where we have, things in Georgia. They're getting caught everywhere. All these things now, it's all coming out. All this crime's coming out. It's being, I'm being vindicated, going, Mike, you were right. Mike, you were right. I get 100 texts a day now going, Mike, you were right. Well, look what happened in Georgia. Can you believe they did this? Look at this. I'm going, really? You're telling me that?
Well, Mike, it's because obviously you're in line with truth and common sense, and anything that's contrary to that is what you see in the mainstream media and a lot of what's happening on the left when it comes to the leadership positions. One more thing about Walz. They were calling him cuddly, folksy, and all that, but at the end of the day, we know he is pro-communist, anti-God, anti-morality, and anti-freedom. Am I not right?
No, you're 100% right. He speaks Mandarin. He's many trips to China. I think he lived over there for a year. This guy is not folksy. He is like, he might on the cover, he looks like, this grandpa-looking guy from the Midwest. Wrong, everybody. Peel back the onion. This is the thing where we're very blessed where we are. with our voices, everybody. 3.5 years after January 7th and 8th, when they tried to silence our voices forever. If you put a candidate like Waltz up, and back then, prior to 7th and 8th of January of 21, anytime prior to that, you go back a decade, wouldn't matter. You had just a few outlets, your CNNs of the world, and your MSNBCs, and your Fox News. They're putting out this narrative that he's all folksy, whatever, and the truth would not get out. But now, since 7th and 8th, we've had of January, in the last 3.5 years, all these outlets and platforms have opened up. All these social media platforms here, Truth Social, Frank Social, your new Twitter, even Zuckerberg's Facebook is a little different now. But you got all these platforms, and you still have the great news outlets like RSBN, which has been there through it all, by the way, everybody. And so with the word's getting out about him, I was so happy when I heard he was running for VP. I said, they're not going to be able to paint a picture to the general public because everybody's on these phones now and all these social media platforms. All you got to do is click on one. I don't care if it's Gab, Getter, Truth, Frank Social, Twitter. Well, let's see. What does really Tim Waltz stand for? E-ball. Wait a minute. Let's Google it. E-ball. Let's Google it. E-ball. I mean, evil. I mean, come on. So the word, they can't hide it anymore. Mike, they can't lie to the people. They can't lie to the people.
Mike, you're so right. The progressive playbook is radically left. We know that. Everyone sees that. Nobody's hiding. The only person hiding is Harris, who has not been out there for the news conferences at all. Your thoughts about her not really taking on any questions?
Well, she can't. I mean, come on. Well, you guys, this is, they're going to try and steal it again, and which is going to be the biggest blessing ever of everybody. We've got a great plan, which I'll talk about in a bit, to secure our elections. And this time, no one's going to believe it. I mean, it's like this. If I said, hey, here's China virus 2.0, guys, have a ball. We're not going to fall for it. We're not going to eat like we did. Like, by the way, Waltz in Minnesota made us eat outside restaurants in snowbanks. Our plates would melt into the snow. You couldn't eat in the restaurant, okay? If Thanksgiving, you could have, it was either 8 or 10 people only in your house. And if you had one more person, your neighbor could turn in, he had a turn-in website, you had to do 90 days in jail. That was going to be the fine. On Christmas, he gave us 2 more people. We got a couple more. Hey, it's Christmas, boy, bring them in, So, if you're them, what would you do? I always look at if I'm their marketer. I would hide Kamala Harris. She's been hidden for 3 years anyway as she ruined our border. Come on, aren't you ever going to go down to the border? Well, I haven't been to overseas either, or whatever she said at that time. Nobody knows where she's at now. But if you're the evil marketing scheme, now remember, everybody, this isn't Kamala Harris or Waltz. Is a big evil behind this. This uniparty deep state globalists, and whatever they're planning up here and to do, you got to try and think through that. It doesn't make sense to me right now, but it's playing into where it's going to make sense when we get to this election. And you, like I say, if you handed us MyPillow, China virus 2.0, no one's going to wear masks again. We're not going to do the same stuff. We're not going to tolerate it. Just like we're not going to tolerate election crime 2.0. Let's steal another election 2.0. It's not going to happen. And what's going to be the manifestations of that is we're going to end up to this beautiful place of same-day voting, paper ballots, hand counted. That will be there. It might not be there totally this election, but it's getting there.
Exactly.
It's got a great thing happening.
The GOP platform, those 20 promises, one of them is exactly that, to have voter ID, same-day voting, and the like. So on the ballot is freedom versus tyranny, and it's the truth. I mean, Mike, your thoughts about Venezuela right now, your thoughts about the United Kingdom right now, where they're looking at a lot of social media posts and saying they're going to come after people if they say certain things. Now, we understand not talking about propagating violence or anything like that, but just freedom of saying, hey, I don't like that person, I like this person. They might come after you. That's kind of a little bit extreme.
Well, let's just look at, you don't have to look too far, but in our own country, we go to Michigan. I believe it was, I can't remember what her name is. Is it Gretchen or something up there? She just tried to pass the thing a couple of days ago. She might have made an executive order. If you question the election coming up, it's a crime. She's trying to make that a crime. I mean, this is just 2 days ago, everybody. This is bizarre, and then you've got that, and then in our country, you add lawfare to that. Boy, if you speak out about your opinion, you get sued for $4 billion. I can tell you that firsthand, Don't talk. How dare you talk?
And
I'll tell you.
In the state of Pennsylvania, to your point, there is an election task force that has also been recently created that's probably right in line with what the leadership of the left is trying to do. At the end of the day, Mike, all we want is our country just to continue on when it comes to the Constitution, truth, freedom. You know what I mean?
Well, it all starts with our elections, everybody. Everything goes back to that. That's why they don't want. Why do you think they've attacked me for over a year, worse than they did in 2021, and attacked MyPillow? The worst attacks on the company in history. They're doing it not because I want to overturn the 2020 election. That ship sailed. Donald Trump's got, he's running. We're only 4 months from this next election. They're attacking me because I want to get rid of the voting machines and go to paper ballots, hand counted. Do you know when I just gave a speech at the rally in Minnesota, I think it was about a week ago, one of the things I said there was 132 countries have banned electronic voting machines or they don't use them. Over 100 countries have banned early voting and mail-in voting. There's a reason that these countries have banned these things, everybody. We have the worst elections in the world. There's no other country worse than the United States now. So we get one shot at this to get our great real president back in and then secure our election platforms for the future and make it the best we can make it, which is paper ballots, hand counting, same-day voting, signature required, precinct level, it goes on and on. And I told our real president, I said, when you get in, because he wants to do that right away, and I said, you're going to be fighting these companies out there, these machine companies. I've been fighting all this uniparty deep state that wants to keep them. You do realize this, that I ran into states like South Dakota. We can't even get a cast vote record there. No, that's all Republican. Why would they want to get rid of these machines and go to paper? Why wouldn't Arkansas, Alabama, all these states? We have great things going on in Missouri. They just won't stop fighting there. They're getting what they want. We had great people elected there, including the new Secretary of State that's going to be running now in the primaries that all won. The people we need in power that know our elections are important. Our government deemed them critical infrastructure. We've got to get there,
Exactly. And then once we get there, then draining the swamp would be the next plan, there in Washington. So having our freedoms restored, having our country say no to communism, no to tyranny, and yes to truth and common sense. Mike, let's talk about a couple more things before we go back to Bozeman. Obviously, we'll be going back there live here with Mike Fortnick and Vanessa Broussard. But Mike, can you talk to us about the Recovery Network some more, and also the hand of God on this country right now, on President Trump, in the name of Jesus?
Yeah, absolutely. Our country right now, and people come up to me all the time and they say, Mike, when you spoke at the Rose Garden, and back right before the China virus, you said God's given us grace for such a time as this, and we got to spend time, get back in our Bibles. Our nation had turned its back on God. But I say, you know what? This is grace. God has given us grace for right now. And during this time, people have all the stuff that's happening. You're going to get to a great place we're going, and you're going to look back and say, even the bad stuff have to happen. People don't look to God when things are going good. It's usually when things are going pretty bad and they feel hopeless. Well, people are pouring into this bucket, the biggest revival for Jesus Christ in history, everybody. They're pouring in. They're going, but there is hope, and that hope is Jesus. This is all about eternity. A nation had turned its back on God, but God could have just been gone. We got blessed in 2020 in that election in the middle of the night when all of a sudden, boom, we overrun the algorithms. If we went with that wouldn't have happened, all the states would have reported. We'd all went to bed. Biden would have won. We'd have said, oh, we're a nation. We're done. Everybody's turned into a bunch of transvestite lovers and blah, blah, blah. And we're going down this path of evil, right? But that didn't happen. They were caught. So we have 3.5 years of opening up this onion and seeing where the evil lies and beating the evil and getting more and more people to get into this bucket for Jesus Christ, and also the political bucket of common sense. They're jumping in from everywhere. We need to God has given us grace. It's the best time in history to be alive. And we do have a plan, everybody. We do have a plan. I'm gonna back off a little bit here. I'm gonna say, everyone now that's they're feeling hopeless, and then with that border open and fentanyl pouring in, people are turning to drugs and stuff too, or drug addicts are even using more. Everybody, you can go to LindellRecoveryNetwork.org. It's free. I set it up, LindellRecoveryNetwork.org. I go there. If you want to help out too, we can sure use donations. That's my platform, which I thought I'd be doing the whole time. Instead, I've been concentrating on election platforms, which, by the way, I want to quick tell that plan. If everybody go to LindellPlan.com, the whole plan is laid out to secure our elections. You secure your mail-in ballot, get your mail-in ballot, don't open it when you go there on the game day on November 5th to vote. And if they say you've already voted, you say, no, I have not. At that time, it becomes identity theft. We're going to need all this data to not only get rid of these machines once and for all, but also to get if they do steal it, this is a different kind of evidence where they have to look into it. Every county in the United States. So we have a lot of tools we didn't have back then.
And I know it's Cause of America with you, and I know you've worked with PrecinctStrategy.com and also True the Vote. So a lot of great things happening out there for our country when it comes to election security.
Absolutely.
Last question I have for you, Mike, before I let you go here, and I think there are a number of people that are leaning Democratic that might be watching this broadcast, and wherever they are right now, whether it's on X, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, wherever. President Trump wants to be the president of all Americans, right? And I know there's a lot of different thoughts and hearts and minds about all these different issues out there. But Mike, what's your message to the people that are on the left but would say, you know what, I don't want my kids to go to, a drag story hour, that kind of thing, but they vote Democrat.
Right.
They vote Democrat, though. The point is, we got to win hearts and minds. Am I not right?
No, you're exactly right. And when I tell them, I actually have a program called Flipping Democrats, where went into Chicago and all the inner cities, and we talked to Democrats that voted for Biden and then now are voting for Donald Trump, and we asked them why. When the last one I did in Chicago, almost all of them, these were mostly Hispanics and blacks, were so upset that the illegals were pouring in, taking their jobs because crooked employers were paying them cash. They're taking their jobs and they're taking their resources. If they had any addiction, like we were just talking about, the treatment centers filling up with the illegals. You've got places like Minnesota, where Waltz just said any illegal can have a driver's license, then what else do they get to do? They get to vote. And now let me tell you, so if you're a Democrat out there, I want you to rewind your mind. Go back to December of 2019, and you remember how you were physically here, wherever your baseline was. Remember how, where gas was, where the consumer confidence was, where all the stuff that Donald Trump had done for the black community, the Hispanic community, the Christians communities, but also for the economy. And if you rewind there, if that's what your concerns are, you're going to go, wow, these decisions that are made at that White House and by politicians, this is what they manifest to. And in all his attacks, he had manifested all the decisions made to help all people, no matter what they are. He didn't do it just to help Republicans or Democrats. And I will tell you this party that's in there now, call it Democrat, call it whatever you want. I call it the Uniparty, is what's in there. I'm back and forth. But anyway, what they've done to our country, they have an evil agenda which doesn't help anybody, any people. So when they're making decisions that don't help a party or the people that are here in the United States, it's a hidden agenda, and it is so evil beyond anything the world has ever seen. So, but you really have to. And by the way, we're going to the Democrat convention. We're going to be there all week, and we're going to be doing just that, talking to Democrats in the street and getting them over to the bucket of common sense.
So, Mike, you said last week we did that interview with you, and you were joking about going to the DNC. Did you actually get credentialed to go inside the DNC in Chicago?
No, they turned us down, but we think we got 2 passes coming. I told CNN, I said, you know what? Maybe I could shave my mustache and sneak in with you guys, and, and I'll do whatever it takes, everybody. I want to save this country, and And no, we're going to be based at the Trump Hotel in Chicago. We're going to have big events there that to the locals there, and we're going to be bringing in Democrats and having this event, and we're going to be live from there on Frank's Beach. It's going to be beautiful. I'm bringing Rudy Giuliani with me. It's going to be a great time. If you're there, you're welcome to come on up. And I don't know if you guys got in, but they denied us. But we think we might be able to get a couple passes though. Now I don't know. We'll see if I would go in there. Probably not, but I'm definitely be out in the streets, you know.
Awesome. Mike Lindell, you're a rock star. Everybody loves you in this country, except for some of the people on the left. Hopefully they'll convert, though, to love you, Mike, because you're a great guy. Tell us finally, it's the RSBN promo code for your store, right?
Yeah, you guys, RSBN, MyPillow has been one of the most attacked companies in history. RSBN has been there since the very beginning for us. And I'll tell you what, you guys are getting us through. My employee-owned company getting attacked every day. Use that promo code RSBN. You guys, you go to the website now and you're going to get our mattress topper, these new mattress topper, the MyPillow patented foam. The queen size alone has over 14,000 individual comfort support that we designed on there, right? And that is, and you get a free set of percale sheets with it and free shipping. You can't beat this. So I think they're as low as $119.99, and so you get it's free. And then we have all these $25 extravaganza on sale, products that we've had on sale that we're leaving, for $25, a 6-piece towel set. Another product we have on there right now is our MyPillows, where it all started. For $1998 for the queen size. 83 million MyPillows we've sold, and a lot of them to the RSBN listeners. But promo code RSBN. Everybody remember that, RSBN. It's a win-win-win. You're helping MyPillow and my employee-owned company. You're helping RSBN, Right Side Broadcast Network. You're helping them, as we're a great sponsor, and we love them helping us. But more importantly, and most importantly, you're helping you all get the best sleep of your life and get the best products made in the USA, the MyPillow and the toppers, but you're getting products that help you. And so it's a win-win-win.
And that is it right there, Mike Lindell. Win-win-win, and that's what we believe what will happen in November. Sir, thank you so much for taking the time with us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Anytime. God bless.
God bless you.